Off we go then. St. Pauli kicking off and moving from left to right in this first half. Unbeaten so far this season, but only the one win. And opposed to their hosts, who have also got only one win. But have lost the other three. Two coaches, Jens Hertel for the hosts and Fabian Herzler for the visitors. Both relatively young. Germany have a history here of bringing through coaches pretty early. When you get involved in the conversation, then all of the social media avenues are available to you. Only got underway in the league with a great victory over Kaiserslautern. One of those great sort of sounding names from the top flight in years gone by. It came down to the Bundesliga 2 almost the same time. St. Pauli thrashed on the final day in 2011, but their fans still were singing their praises even as the goals were piling in. Duval. Many Germans actually starting for St. Pauli today. 29-year-old signing from Holstein Kiel is one of them. Started all but one of the Bundesliga outings for his new side since coming in. Holstein Kiel for 4 years after having come through at the club before moving on to Ingolstadt Heidenheim. Tackle has come to Gómez. Now a chance. Anthony Uja spreads it out wide. Gómez into the middle. Too many defenders in the way there. They're going to have to come up with something a little bit more imaginative than that, because St. Pauli, for all of their concerns coming forward, have been very good at the back. I want to say all their concerns coming forward. They've actually had quite a few attempts, a lot of attempts. Last week against Magdeburg, they were heavily outnumbered, the visitors, in terms of shots on goal. They just couldn't score. Former unbeaten in the young season, hunting for their first win at the Milan Tour, though. Now, though, they are looking for their second win away. So far, 4 points in their 2 games away at Kaiserslautern, and last time out against Greuther Fürth, another side who were in the top flight not so long ago. And they'll be looking for Offenheim to provide them with a little bit of pace and support for Albers, who got the support of his coach, the American Herzler, in midweek, saying that he's providing them with everything they hoped they would do when they signed him. The only thing missing is the goals. I could argue that is fairly important for a centre forward, but you understand the whole process. St. Pauli very keen not to get that lack of goals into the minds of their players, and that's been something that has been talked about all week. Not that they've actually wanted to, but of course the media have been talking about it, quite naturally. That win against Kaiserslautern I was talking about on the first day made it with 4 wins in the 22nd games in Bundesliga 2 for Lars Ritzka, starting for only the 4th time. Here comes St. Pauli on the rise, and first shot comes in, and the first save is needed. from the Bosnian Nikolaj Vasic. Finally, the St. Pauli fans have managed to get into the ground. Obviously, there was a problem outside the Eintracht stadion. They haven't missed anything yet, although you could argue they've just missed that shot. Decent play once more. Out into the path of Folayan again. This time doesn't find the intended target, and Braunschweig can get possession back. 5 minutes gone, still goalless. Just the one attempt on goal so far for St. Pauli. Braunschweig so far have not managed to put together very much. They've been up to the penalty area a couple of times, but not managed to get into it yet. And there is plenty of good tackling coming in from the captain Irvine and Hartel in midfield for St. Pauli, which is stopping Eintracht Braunschweig making any real headway early on. Here is the Australian skipper. Go all the way through into Vasic once more. Sad. Only a couple of players who scored for St. Pauli this season. This is a nice little move, though. Back out once more into Sad. And he strikes it straight against one of the Eintracht Braunschweig defenders. Forward again, though, from Metz. And change from the result last week against Magdeburg, which ended up in another 0-0 draw. You can see how they were like this as well last week, and in the game before that, even though they've not scored, the build-up play has been good. This was Sad moving it in, a nice little 1-2 played there with Ritzka. And as you can see, desperately trying to get his defenders just to push up, stop allowing St. Pauli to be able to just keep pushing in on them. The 54-year-old who was at Magdeburg actually until 2019 when he went to Hansa Rostock, in at Eintracht Braunschweig for the current campaign. So coming into the place of Patrick Glöckner. Actually been around that long, actually, coming in halfway through last season. Eight minutes gone, here we go. St. Pauli dominating possession early on. Back into the path of Al once more. Already at the moment beginning to push back into their own half and start defending a deep block. It's going to be difficult to break through them. Hartel there trying his best with Sad again, decent ball in, and that's well headed out. Bereng there, getting his head to it. One of the three centre-backs with Kurasai and Ivanov. Really important here for Griesbeck back in the side today, and Krause to be able to protect their back three. You can see the backing up already inside the last third, and that is only going to encourage Sad and his teammates to come forward. Sad going up against Weber. Shot from outside the area is not that bad, just wide. Smith there getting forward. Shows you how little work there is to do at the moment for St. Pauli. Smith, despite his name, comes from Sweden, from Halmstad, and his fourth season with St. Pauli, having come in from Norrköping. He came through in 2014. A couple of loan spells since then, but now seems to have found a home here in northern Germany. Pauli. Not too long a trip to get from St. Pauli, from the Reeperbahn down here to Braunschweig in Lower Saxony. More or less on the same level as Hanover. Not too far away from Wolfsburg either. It's the only one of those three that's in the top flight still. Champions League was drawn today. Bayern Munich in with Manchester United, Copenhagen and Galatasaray in their group. Nice little renewal of hostilities. Dortmund in with Paris Saint-Germain, AC Milan and Newcastle United back in Europe for the first time in a couple of decades. RB Leipzig up against Manchester City, who they know well as Red Star Belgrade and Young Boys of Switzerland. And Union Berlin in with Napoli, the Italian champions, Real Madrid and Braga. What a rise Union Berlin have performed to show what is possible to all of these sides in Bundesliga too. Smith forward. It's a little bit short. They're looking for the Englishman, Ofolian. Second season with St. Pauli now since he came in from Bolton Wanderers. 3 goals in his last 2 seasons, the last in England and the first in Germany. We'll be looking for him to get back to the kind of form he had in 2021-22 though, when he got over double figures for the second time in his career. Here comes Eintracht Braunschweig on the attack. Smith gets a foot to it. However, Eintracht Braunschweig here with their most promising attack since the game kicked off. Decent ball in, but it's out by Irving. Outside, picked up by Krüger. And he's punched out. Vasic, Bosnian keeper. Suddenly, St. Pauli under a threat. This is better from the hosts. Smith again. Not the most convincing piece of defending this from St. Pauli, which has been unusual for them in recent games. Back in by Krauser. Too many was aiming for. Neither one of them seemed to know that the ball was coming. Good ball over to this near side, headed back by Doncourt. Just over the top, though, of Gómez. And Gómez had his heart in his mouth after Dr. Robert Kanker points to the spot. Handball last week, but after VAR, it came back that it was not handball. However, it didn't stop Karlsruhe winning that game. 25th minute opener from Leon Jensen, and then 67-minute confirmation score by Fabian Schlesner after Yannis Nicolau had been sent off for a professional foul between those 2 goals. Danger that St. Pauli's got to be aware of here. They had plenty of pressure early on in the game, didn't do anything with it. And they could get stung at the other end if they don't watch out, even though that's something they've not happened to them in the last 3 games. Indeed, this season. Conceded just 1 goal this campaign. Ragnar Ake, the only man to have scored past them for Kaiserslautern on the opening day of the season. Keeper Val. Again, good pressing from St. Pauli forces the error in distribution out of defence, but at the moment Eintracht Braunschweig have managed to get it back again. Little pass inside from Kurasai. Good ball forward, but it's cut out by Saliakas, a Greek right wing back, and by Irvine. In midfield all of a sudden, it's better. They need to push up just a bit more like that, do Eintracht Braunschweig, but it's all a bit sort of like hodgepodge at the moment. There's no real system by the looks of it from the home team. So managed to get possession of the ball, but unfairly, says the referee, and he gives away a free kick. Torben Hoffmann feeds the ball out. Second season since arriving from the Sunderland under-23s, and who came through at Bayern Munich, so a good pedigree. Struggling though with his defence in front of him at the moment, and struggling to get out of their own penalty area at the moment. Good pressing by Saad and Albers. However, Eintracht Braunschweig finally get into the opposing half. Little ball back there by Griesbeck. However, intercepted by Hartel. A bit of space at last here for Gómez. Just turns away from Irvine. Forward by Val. Still trying to find some kind of rhythm here to probably get through. They've had that one moment where St. Pauli seemed to switch off completely, but they seem to have switched back on again now. Two teams that have scored the least amount of goals so far in the early season. St. Pauli scored 2 goals in the first 4. Same as their host today. Last week, really, they were only denied the win by a man-of-the-match performance by the Magdeburg keeper Dominik Reimann, who made 12 saves to keep out the men from Hamburg. Ball forward from Metz. It'll come back to them. Metz once more. Stonian has a little look and decides to play it square instead to Smith. Saz looking lively already in the opening quarter of an hour or so. That's a good ball out to this near side where Saliakas picks it up. Val, central defenders coming forward and almost acting as midfielders at the moment. Here's Sad once more. Going up against Weber and past him. Better. This is good from St. Pauli. And there's a shot over the top. Saliakas. Well, the Greek decided that he might as well have a crack. The 26-year-old looking for the first goal of his season after scoring 4 for St. Pauli in the last campaign. His first season with the Pirates. Almost 20 minutes gone, and St. Pauli at the moment on top. Eintracht Braunschweig, for the large part, not really doing enough to threaten them. Perhaps it's not surprising that they're still 0-0 as we hit 20 minutes in a few moments' time. Smith sends it back to the goalkeeper. Pressing forward. to send the Verein down that right-hand side. But at the moment, Eintracht Braunschweig defenders still full of energy. Once again, picked up by Val. Smith again. Yeah, and that's nice from the Englishman. He's still going. Oh, that would have been beautiful. Beat three men, just couldn't beat the fourth. He's wondering why he shouldn't maybe have a foul. I think it may have gone the other way. Taking down the Finnish international. Ivanov. We've seen a well-trodden route as Folian, with English players coming outside of England to play in Germany. It's worked out quite well for a lot of them. Jude Bellingham, of course, probably the most famous example, and now, of course, has left Dortmund and has gone to Real Madrid in this latest transfer window. Started off pretty well as well over there in Spain, and in the goals. An absolute hero at Dortmund in his time here. Making himself a fully fledged international, and now one of the most coveted players in the world. And Dortmund have a habit of doing that with players. That's nicely done. Eintracht Braunschweig on the attack. Oh, that was close. Uja in the middle. Well, that was the best move of the entire game, with the first yellow card. Comes out of the pocket. Now of Herr Lechner. And the first yellow card goes to Ivanov. Booked in the 1-0 win over Schalke last time out. Maybe Eintracht Braunschweig can take that as a good omen. This was the chance created in the middle, and it came off the back of the defender Metz. Otherwise, Uja was in. Nigerian has been in Germany for a long time now and has come through the lights after making his name at Mainz, then going to Union Berlin, now his second season with Eintracht Braunschweig. Got to double figures last season as well. The now 32-year-old centre forward. 3 successful seasons at Cologne as well. The Cologne managed to his a chance, and it's just wide for St. Pauli. They're creating space well. This time it was Riska with the shot wide of the post. Talking about Cologne, though, that they seem to have managed to stop being the yo-yo club of German football and have had a decent amount of time now in the top flight, having been up and down several times in recent years. It wasn't a clear-cut chance. Hotel not impressed. And what's happened there? Anthony Uja furious with himself again. It was a long Route 1 free kick. Uja on his bike, beautifully brought down. He just couldn't quite get it out from underneath his left foot. Well, they know, struggling in attack this season. Can't afford to let too many chances come by. It was a very sharp chance, to be fair on him. A defender bearing down on him, he had to get rid of it quickly. To be honest, it would have been quite some goal if he'd actually managed to score with that, with the first touch he had before it. At least so they're offering a threat now. St. Pauli very much playing as if they're the home side. even though they're the ones on their travels. Dominating possession, dominating territory. Comes Sad, and it'll be a corner kick to the visitors. One of 3 Germans in the starting lineup today, the 23-year-old attacker. Been at the club since last season. Here comes the corner. Well dealt with, however. You can see how deep they'd all got again, and it's allowed St. Pauli to come back at them once more. Halfway through the first half, Olafayan really threatened the goal with that one. Over on that far side, feeds it back to his keeper. Basile. Back from Irvine. Season for Irvine as well, the Australian, after coming in, starting off with Scottish football, a little bit of a brief time in lower divisions in England as well, before going to Hibernian and St. Pauli, where he seems to have found his home. Metz. No real press coming here from Eintracht Braunschweig. They're just quite happy to allow St. Pauli to have it on the halfway line. Sad. It's going to take some patience, this, for St. Pauli to be able to break them down. Saliakas leaves it out to Olian once more. His first touch wasn't that good this time and allows possession to turn over by Kurase. No, it's a little bit speculative at the moment, the play forward from Eintracht Braunschweig. They're not really sort of teaming up too much. Neither really possession play nor counter-attack at the moment. The occasional long ball forward. It's a good ball forward though, and St. Pauli on the attack once more. Elba's unable to control that properly, the Danish import. From Jan Regensburg. They were relegated last season to the 3rd division, the Dritte Liga. Metz picks it up for St. Pauli. And the odd excursion down to the 3rd flight as well. Nice. Picked up by Hertel. Goes down and looks for the free kick, which is doesn't look like it's forthcoming. It's only going to be a throw-in to the home side. Lovely back heel by Sad. He's looking very, very good. He's easily the best player on the park so far in this early half an hour. But Sad, and this time he does get a free kick. Saliakas. Back by Smith. Metz. Sad started to get that quick passing moving again. Sad is at the heart of every time that happens. Irvine. Sad goes down. Referee plays on. Smith. Alian. Sort of like bouncing off the last defender at the moment. Looking for Sad, who just made his way into the penalty area. That was well dealt with in middle. His bet goes down, and the referee gives him a free kick. Pauli feels like the referee is picking on him in this first half. It's not the first time that he's been adjudged to be the offender. Half an hour gone. Eintracht Braunschweig 0, St. Pauli 0. So we've been struggling to score this early season, are still struggling to score. It's sad. Looks as likely as anybody has actually got on the score sheet this season. Here he comes once more. Good running. Gets the ball across. And Pauli completely misses it. Well, this game is a microcosm, really, of where early season so far. Good approach play, but once it gets into the box, they are struggling. There's a yellow card going to come out here for the St. Pauli captain, Irvine, as well. The foul on Anthony Uja. Well, I've seen worse challenges. I've seen much better attempts at finishing there, though. Falian really getting that wrong. So then the Australian captain, 30 years old, goes into the book for the third time this season already. Which means that he'll have a ban coming. 3 bookings in less than 10 games. Not good news. Hoffman short in the end. Ordered by Vassi. Excuse me. Next, no way forward at the moment. Nobody's really making a run ahead of him. So in the end, he's forced to go square into the path of Val. Sandakas comes deep to help him out. That's better. That's what they want. They just want to pull one midfielder out of place and then they're away. Sad. Lovely touch. Taken down. Free kick. They need to get Sad on the ball as many times as they can at the moment. He's the one player who's got that little bit of extra to him at the moment. Saliakas. Wide. Sure that ball was meant actually for Sad on the far side, but he didn't really catch hold of it. Saliakas again, still got space. He's going to try again, back post. Not sure whether an Eintracht outside player got a touch on that ball as St. Pauli's coach, Fabian Herzler, complains to the fourth official. Corner kick. I thought there was a touch on the end of it, but yep. It was given as a goal kick to start with. Right decision made in the end, though. Plenty in the box here for St. Pauli. Hertel is over there, ready to take it. This is Smith and Val and Irvine all in the middle. Ball is scampering around there somewhere, comes back out to Hertel, but it's kicked away before he can get onto it. Anthony Uja helping out in defence, the big centre forward. Sad. That's too close to the goalkeeper. Easy catch for Hoffman. 7 saves last week for Hoffman. Their defeat against Karlsruhe. Not quite as many as his opposite number performed in their last game against Magdeburg. Here comes Eintracht Braunschweig again, too high in the middle for Uja. It will go across and it'll be a throw-in to Eintracht Braunschweig, which they want to take quickly. Still 10 minutes or so to go until the break. Eintracht Braunschweig want to do something positive in this first half. However, that goes straight off the back of Ritzke. Sad. Out by Val. Only as far as Griesbeck. Here come Eintracht Braunschweig once more. Metz is there this time. They're not dealing with this very well. And in the end, it's out by Val again. It'll be another throw-in on that far side. We're back where we were about a minute and a half ago. Well, if they do present some pressure here, Eintracht Braunschweig, then St. Pauli don't exactly look very comfortable, particularly inside their own box. Off we go once more. Again, there's a good ball into the box, and it might be a first corner of the first half for Eintracht Braunschweig. And the St. Pauli fans well and truly inside now, and almost with something to celebrate here. It was a good rise by Smith. He just couldn't quite get the purchase on it, and Uja went out there to stop Hertel sending in the return ball. Just looked like Sunday afternoon football stuff there. It ricocheting around the box. In comes the corner kick then, off of Metz. Another set piece. Well, they've waited 34 minutes for a corner, and now they've got two in back-to-back minutes. Captain Griesbeck, who's going to take it. Decent ball in. Rising to it was Uja. Had a couple of half chances in this first half. I remember with fondness the last time they were in the top flight. It was only one season, 2013-14. Their 21st year in the Bundesliga, having first been in it back in 1963. They were there for 10 years as well, and then another 6-year period in the 1970s, 4 in the 1980s. Kind of got worse for them the more that history has gone on. Sad for St. Pauli. Unlike Eintracht Braunschweig, they have never won the title. Eintracht Braunschweig, probably the team where you had to name a Bundesliga champion, they would probably be at the bottom of your list. That's nice from Irvine. Picked up by Hertel, all the way across the 6-yard box and out the other side. And there's no touch from a defender, or indeed an attacker. Irvine there with a lovely ball, and then clipped inside once more. And unfortunately for them, Alba's unable to complete the 1-2. There's a defender in front of him, to be fair. Alba's in the middle again. It's the third time that he's been started by Hertel in that middle of the park. I wonder how long he will stay there with Simon Zoller having come in on deadline day. Surely they will be starting here at some point in the future, sooner rather than later. Tracking back here by Kurase, got himself into trouble. His coach is not happy because that's good work from Affalay, who's managed to get the throw in to St. Pauli. The last time that Eintracht Braunschweig were in the top flight, they had Torsten Lieberknecht in charge of them. Gone down in folklore now, having got them up. He didn't manage to keep them up, unfortunately for him. It was the first time that they had been in the top flight since the mid-80s. So difficult to stay in the top flight, particularly in this modern era. It's going to be a corner. Griesbeck coming back and getting a foot on it. In fact, it's going to be a throw-in. I thought he'd gone behind. Well, Smith. See how far advanced these centre-forward backs are And here's a good chance here for St. Pauli. Too many red, yellow shirts in the way, though. Gómez does well, holds that up nicely. Oh, he's gone very deep. Playing a more attacking midfield role, even playmaker. Hasn't really managed to get that far forward consistently to be able to really make the most of it. Good challenging by Metz all the way back. It'll be a goal kick to St. Pauli. 5 minutes to go. Just over 4 minutes to go. And it's still 0-0 here at the Eintracht Stadion. Lower Saxony, the northern part of Germany, but St. Pauli have still had to head a little bit south to get here. A number of men have come in on this transfer window. And this Nicolau, though, the captain, is suspended today. Is sad. Nice little teasing ball once more. Oh, there's nobody in the 6-yard box. 4 men in St. Pauli shirts there, but they were all deeper. Back it comes out again once more. Shot from Smith. And again, it hits a wall of yellow. Gómez. Now a chance here to come forward from Krause for Eintracht Braunschweig. Better, but it's got some space finally down that right-hand side. Sad is actually tracking back. It needs a good ball, and that good ball is not forthcoming. Well, they haven't had an awful lot of chance to come forward. When they do come forward, they really do need to find some quality in Weber there, who'd come all the way from the back of defence. Not really known as a winger. That shows you how they are struggling with their formation a little bit, attacking wise. Anthony Uja is just running something off there in the middle of the park. Val, loads of time to be able to just decide what he's going to do. It's almost like the 1970s. There's so much time to just sit on the ball and just have a look around. Surprised there's not a little bit more energy coming here from the defensive structure of Eintracht Braunschweig. So then danger here, 2 minutes away from the half-time pause. So Saliakas is going to take this corner. Greek does it's low. That didn't work. However, it might work here. Hertel from distance. Never really looked like it was going to be on target. But again, given all kinds of time to be able to shoot. Referee judging that challenge by Smith was shoulder to shoulder. Once more waving off. And back by Kurase. Out by Hoffman. See how different the two defences are approaching this. Really high press from St. Pauli and a really low block from Eintracht Braunschweig, despite the fact that St. Pauli are the away side. Very, very different approach to the game. Forward by Doncourt. Comes up. Again, it almost feels like they're just making it up as they go along at the moment in terms of their attack. That's a better ball, though. Well, I say better ball. Route one stuff again, and it's really well dealt with by Val, with Gómez, the American, bearing down on him, trying to harry him into a mistake. That was not too far away. Val really had to keep himself aware there with the danger. Last season he found himself playing in the Regionalliga, his final season at Holstein Kiel. Pretty good purchase, I think, here by St. Pauli. Could have got themselves a very nice acquisition, particularly as they got him free. Metz decides not to play the more progressive ball inside the time added on at the end of the first half. St. Pauli still struggling to break down a defensively minded host Eintracht Braunschweig. Struggling to get anything going coming forward, and the referee has seen enough at the Eintracht Stadion for the first. Well, there's a proud poster there on the stand above saying "Wir sind Eintracht," we are Eintracht, but at the moment it's not a very proud boast at the moment. They haven't got off to the best of the season starts. They got off to an even worse one last campaign. They only had 1 point after their first 6 games, but managed to come back reasonably well by the end of it once they had had a change of heart midway through. Never really quite got going, though. They did most of the work that kept them safe in the second quarter of last season. They were in the bottom automatic places for the first couple of months. And then, well, it was inconsistent form after that that kept them largely in the midfield. Interesting. I'm sure that we're watching a football match, but tennis balls seem to have come on. Maybe they're suggesting that the team should play a different sport. I've seen that before. Interestingly different projectile coming on from the St. Pauli fans. They must have brought them into the ground. Well, they're never shy from making a statement, St. Pauli fans. They are unashamedly political. They are a team that is very left-wing, and has been. They became that way when they felt that German football and the country was going the wrong way a few years ago. Jackson Irvine wears the rainbow armband on his arm, and you see that a lot in football, but for St. Pauli it's not just a symbol, a cheap symbol. It's something that goes all the way through to the core of the side, the core of the club and the core of the fans. Was booked in the first half, incidentally. 3 yellow cards now in the first 4 games. We'll see him miss a game coming up. Usually it's 5, but if you get 3 within 10 games, then you're in trouble as well. Good tackle by Griesbeck. I wonder what Nettel said at half-time to get his team on the front foot just a little bit more in this second half. We were getting quite a lot of close-ups of Helgeson at half-time. New signing for Eintracht Braunschweig, but the 22-year-old is not coming on yet. He's biding his time, waiting for his coach to give him the nod. Signed yesterday on the eve of the deadline day. Cut out by Metz. Finds Sad, who was easily the best player of the first half. Again, he starts off well in the second. Lovely first touch, really sets him up beautifully for what comes afterwards. And he was as big a threat as anybody on the wing. Unfortunately, nobody in the middle was able to finish off his good work. Coming forward is Ritzka. Had a chance in the first half, but unable to take it. Like his teammates in the last 3 games. Freeze back, that's nice, but well, the referee could have perhaps played an advantage there. who were in and around the hunt for the top 3 places for a large part of the last part of last season. So Falan comes forward. Picked up by Hartel. Sad. And another prompting ball, but spooned that one into the box. Mezzo picks it up and feeds it through to Smith. It's a good progressive ball forward. Back out once more to Ritzka. Sad. Space down the left-hand side. Decides not to cross the ball, though, with his left foot. Back into Ritzka once more. Smith. Too much on that, and an easy catch for the Eintracht Braunschweig keeper Ron Torben Hoffmann. They're missing their defensive midfield presence of their captain Yannis Nicolau. He'll be out as well for the next match against Hertha Berlin as well. Sad feeds it through. Afan into the box. This is dangerous now for St. Pauli. It's got a deflection off the, I think it was an attempted shot, but it's been well kept in. Uja does well, finds its way into the middle for Gómez. And Eintracht Braunschweig will get a free kick. And it is a yellow card for Saliakas. I thought for a second there he was aiming that at the captain, which would have been a red. But it was Saliakas who came through back on the American. One in the other game between Fortuna Düsseldorf and Karlsruhe. Karlsruhe, the leaders, took the lead in the 3rd minute through Schlesner, and Engelhardt equalised about 10 minutes later. So it is all square. Both games, but no goals in this one yet. 6.5 minutes into the second half. Going to take the free kick again. Apparently the whistle had not been blown. Ivanov, who's also been booked in the first half, will take the official free kick this time. In the end, decides to go back to the goalkeeper. Well, that rather sums up the way their first half was. No real ideas so far from the Lions. Metz has it now for St. Pauli. Estonian international feeds it out wide into the path of his Greek colleague Saliakas. He's got the throw in. Next once more, and again you can see nobody really pressing out. It's an afterthought really. Not with that ball forward, not the best either, and an easy catch for Hoffmann. Headed by Metz, although the referee thinks it was a little too commanding. Yeah, certainly caught the man before he got the ball, that's for sure. It will be taken by Weber. Fine, start again, and they immediately are put under pressure. Gómez turns away from Jackson Irvine, the Australian international, who's played all 4 games for Australia at the World Cup last season. Better. Gómez. Oh, that's set up beautifully for the American. Well, there's a good chance on the 22-year-old who is looking for his first goal of the season. And his first goal for his new club, having come in from the third-tier side, Zwickau. Just couldn't keep it down. A bit loose, Alakas, they're trying to feed it through, but he'd been played into a bit of trouble there. Pauli getting away with it, though. Feeds it into his midfield partner, Ertel. Ritzka. Sad. It's too far for Smith. Smith has given up being a central defender completely, playing in midfield now. Absolutely no need to have three central defenders in this game. So resorting now to Val and Metz at the back with Smith pushing further forward. Here comes Ritzka. Looking for Jackson Irvine. Australia just didn't quite arrive in time. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Still Eintracht Braunschweig 0, St. Pauli 0. Both sides showing a little bit more endeavour in the second half. Both of St. Pauli's goals came in their opening match. A win away at Kaiserslautern. Betzenberg. Braunschweig have yet to score more than one goal in one match. Here comes Sad. That's a free kick. And again, he makes defenders make decisions they don't want to make. And he's causing all kinds of trouble. This time, Weber, the man to be done over. See there, he's already holding on to him. Turns it into a seatbelt. And then a judo throw, effectively. Sad, unsurprising, perhaps he's not too happy with the former Preußen Münster man. Started off his life in football in the Cologne Academy. And they're in the Rhineland. So then Smith has come across here to take this free kick. In the middle. Both sides have been concentrating on set pieces this week to try and make the best out of them. Smith then delivers it, and it's straight at the goalkeeper, and he makes a bit of a meal of that punch out. Does Hoffman? Well, the way that trajectory came, I'm sure that was supposed to be onto the head of somebody like Irvine, but in the end he went straight through to the goalkeeper. Lars Ritzka then, who takes the resulting corner. In it comes. And it goes once more, and all those maroon shirts, but nobody could get near the ball in a dangerous position. Just one correction on myself. I think it was Hertel who took the corner, not Ritzka. Cleared out though by Krüger. His debut today. Irvine's managed to get back there. Decent ball across. Sad. They covered him well. Sad back again though, and he breaks the deadlock. Lovely turn back inside. Near post shot. Goalkeeper wrong-footed. And if anyone was going to break the deadlock today, it was going to be the winger. 23-year-old Elias Sad gets his first goal of the campaign. Gradually getting more and more first team experience this season. He's only made a handful of appearances in the last couple of campaigns, but if he keeps doing things like this, then we'll be seeing him a lot more. Even though St. Pauli's starting 11, he's been by far the best player on the park so far this evening. And that is everything he deserves. Goalkeeper will be a little bit disappointed there, and he let that go in at his near post, but it was a brilliantly touched shot. And St. Pauli finally have the lead as we approach the hour. Griesbeck has come on and Ritzmüller has come on to replace him. 24-year-old Marvin Rittmer from Erfurt in his first season, having arrived from Heidenheim, who were promoted last season, for whom he played 14 times but only started once. Heidenheim being promoted to the top flight for the first time in their history. Kaufmann has also come on for Krüger, so the debut boy has come off. Kaufmann, who is one of only 3 players now who have scored for the side come on. Now the challenge is on here for Eintracht Braunschweig. How do they come back from this? Because like St. Pauli, they've been struggling to find the target. But that finish by Sad was not the finish of a man in a team who have been struggling for confidence in front of goal recently. That Eintracht Braunschweig now have as well is that their visitors have gone now almost 3 3/4 games without conceding a goal. Here comes Anthony Uja though. Need him to find his goal touch. First touch for Rittmüller. And straight into the arms of Vassi. Bosnian international who is regularly in the Bosnian setup, but is a backup to Srdic, who's the usual number 1 for Bosnia-Herzegovina. Now we're gone. Eintracht Braunschweig 0, St. Pauli 1. The scoreline now reflects a little better the way the match has gone in general. St. Pauli finally capitalising on their domination of the tie. And had scored just 2 goals before the one he scored today for the first team. Yellow card. Frustration beginning to brew now as is brandished to the American Gómez. So a little tug back and then another one. Sad's last goal came against Arminia Bielefeld back in April, and that came a couple of weeks after he scored against today's opposition in the reverse fixture at the Midland Tour. Tie that Eintracht Braunschweig actually won 2-1. In that match against Eintracht Braunschweig was Sad. Sad on target in that amazing game in the Volksparkstadion against their city rivals. Hamburg finally winning it 4-3 after Jackson Irvine had given them a chance by pulling it back to 4-3 in the 79th minute. Sad having scored to pull it back to 3-2. in which Salik has also scored as Eintracht Braunschweig come forward and it's straight into the arms of Vasil again. And crowd trying to get behind their team, and a lot of noise coming from the away end, as you can hear. Being almost incessant is Smith. Being pushed back deeper, finds Metz. All of a sudden, St. Pauli in no real hurry to come forward. It is forward though by Irvine, who's come all the way back from midfield into that back four position. Well, they've lost the ball now though. And Irvine with another tackle. And it's going to be a free kick to the away side as well. Irvine decides to not take it quickly. And it was Saliakas here with the ball to Irvine. Irvine with the quick ball away across. Look at the first touch there by Sad, and that's what gave him the time to decide what he was going to do. They did not get close enough to him. He gets his first team goal in Bundesliga 2 with St. Pauli as a result. Still the difference between the two sides with 65, nearly 66 minutes on the clock. Irvine just decides to get rid of it. Underneath it. Beginning to, as you say, earlier on, a couple of yellow cards coming out, and Eintracht Braunschweig beginning to get a little bit frustrated. And that won't help their mood either, as Ivanov hits the deck. Eintracht Senior watching on, debating with his assistant what they could do next. We are halfway through the second half. And at the moment, Eintracht and Braunschweig are suffering without their captain. Midfield battle has been largely won by Irvine, Smith and Hertel. And, really, Krauser and Griesbeck have not really managed to get to grips with it. They've been outnumbered. Griesbeck has since left us, has been subbed off. There's Sad with a tackle. And another tackle from Albers. Still struggling to get scoring going. He's not really had a shot so far in this game. It's the Dane. That's better though from Eintracht Braunschweig. Better was behind the two men arriving. So close, Gómez and Uja in the right place. Was saying they weren't in the 6-yard box earlier. They were then, but the ball went to where the penalty area or the penalty spot is. Just not clicking for the home side. Home fans, though, 110% behind them. Irvine. And last, a bit of a high press coming from Eintracht Braunschweig. And it does the job. Possession retained, or rather turned over. And now Eintracht Braunschweig have a chance to come forward and use that turnover. In it comes. Dangerous ball again past Uja. And Afolan has come back to steal it away from Gómez. Afolan up the far flank and into Sad. Is Sad onside? No, I don't think he is. He's offside. Just a little too quick there. Clever. Well, he was looking at the ball. The defender was looking at where he was and just stepped up. Good defensive play there. The offside trap sprung. Doing Jens Hertel's side any good though. Metz given time this time to be able to settle. Nas. Back on that right flank again after that little wander off to the left earlier. Smith. It's nicely done. Smith already on the return ball as well. This is looking good from St. Pauli. Sad, the goal scorer. On the overlap. Ritzka back inside though, and to Hertel. Afalan. Back post. Hertel again, Sad trying to dive his way through, but Hoffman read it well. Nice move as we hit the 70-minute mark for St. Pauli, still leading Eintracht Braunschweig by 1-0. Although it took a long time in coming, but when it did, it was well worth watching. Hamburg now have 3 men who scored in Bundesliga 2 this season. First goal in nearly 4 matches worth of football that St. Pauli have scored. Did them a lot of good. Both their victories have come away from home this season, St. Pauli. Quite like to win something in front of their own fans. It's going to go all the way behind, and it'll be a goal kick. St. Pauli will be in no hurry to take it, so it's going to be encouraged to take it a little quicker. Another little bit of time wasted by the goalkeeper giving it to the outfield player, and he's told to get on with it. Metz does, and it comes to Vasij. And that's the sort of easy ball that Eintracht Braunschweig should not be allowing. But all of a sudden they're up to the other end. Afalan. Chance to come into the box. The Englishman is sent back the other way though. Afalan is beginning to come into the game more and more. Sad, who's been in the game since the start of the match. And he's managed to get that ball back. Everything is bouncing for him. Still going, Sad. Still up, still going. Down he goes. Referee won't give him a penalty for that. Uja is a hustle off the ball by Metz. And it comes to Val. Metz once more, given to him by his skipper, Irvine. Aliakas. Back to that patient build-up. They it all down very, very slowly, and then all of a sudden it quickens up as they burst forward. Just trying to draw the defenders out, which is something that Eintracht Braunschweig are doing more and more now as they have to chase the game inside the last 20 minutes. Saliagas. Quite the control on that though, and unable to be controlled by Hartl. They've got it back. Smith, it's opening up for Smith, and it was deflected off the defender. A little bit of a disappointing end though to that attack by St. Pauli. This was Sad earlier on. Well, he stayed up and he kind of threw himself over. He might well have got the penalty if he'd actually played that honestly. You see him there looking for the foul. Lucky not to get booked, to be honest with you. I don't think he needed to, though. Hartl with another corner. Middle of the ball, over the top of Irvine. Just couldn't quite grow high enough to get a proper purchase on it. Still not over. Well, it is now. Hoffman, easy catch. Disappointing ball back in on the rebound. Uja couldn't really do very much with that header. Saliakas into Smith. Swede, nice distribution once more to Hartl. Sad. They're looking confident now, are St. Pauli. That goal has, I wouldn't say settled them down, because they've looked pretty settled all the way through the game, but there's a greater confidence now in the way they're playing the ball around. Smith, again, plenty of space on this near side. for Ritzka. Krause in the captain's armband now that Griesbeck has gone off. We head towards the 15 minutes to go mark. As Eintracht Braunschweig starting to get more and more desperate. They won't want 4 defeats in their first 5 games, particularly here at home, after winning the last game against Schalke, which they thought was a bit of a statement. Here they come once more, though. Kaufmann is caught in the middle by Vassi once more. Oh, that was a bit dramatic. Whether a free kick has been given there or not, but there's going to be a couple of substitutions here for Eintracht Braunschweig, one of which is going to see Sessinskene come on, and also the new boy signed yesterday, Helgeson, Tobias Johan Helgeson, on loan from the Serie A club Lecce for the rest of the season. 12 matches in Serie A he's played. There's a fair amount of excitement around this place for this young player. Gómez has come off, who is arguably probably the best player for Eintracht Braunschweig, and to be honest, that doesn't say an awful lot today. They have not done brilliantly. Bieber has gone off. It's Helgeson, the Icelandic midfielder, who's come on to replace him. Now, how much of a difference will that make to the creativity of the hosts? Metz doesn't need to do very much, so it goes back to his keeper. Eintracht Braunschweig in 16th place at kickoff could find themselves worse off by the end of this weekend of matches. Only Ernest Brück and Elvis Bergbach below them. Neither of them have managed to get a win this season. Both of them have just got one draw for the campaign. An appeal for a penalty there as a sandwich. Sad has picked it up on this near side, though. Referee not interested in the appeals, and Sad is tackled. Still only 1-0, so St. Pauli have got to be a little careful here, because Eintracht Braunschweig only need one of these counters to work. That said that, they're not managing to make even one work at the moment. Sad goes high, stays down, chance in the middle, not taken. Real chance for Hartel after Sad's bravery in the air. Not the best kick out by the goalkeeper. Sad did really well there to set that up at personal cost. But Hartel unable to add to his one goal for the season. That was the fall on the other side by the new man just on. And there's Banks who's come on. He's Scott. However, another chance, and here comes Irvine. Sad! Good save by Hoffman. And Saliakas will let it go off for a throw-in. Well, Sad continuing to be the most menacing threat on the pitch for either side. Irvine tries to go back to the goalkeeper, Desval. Yes, he's going to go long and hopeful. However, they might get something out of this. Starting to look more and more confident. Hartel, ball in, too close to Hoffman. Easy catch for the keeper. Unlike his opposite number at the other end, he has no international experience to speak of. So, still only with one clean sheet this season. Only one victory as well, and only one game in which they scored many points. Comes even off. International runs into two Pauli players and decides to think better of it than go through them. Uja again there, a chance, equaliser. Oh, he said only one chance needed to work. And on debut, only 5 minutes after coming on, Torre Johan Helgeson has struck Eintracht Braunschweig.